Alright, what is up, people? Today we're going to go over chord soloing, and I feel like this concept usually is looked at as a staggering mountain, but in reality it's not too bad. But what I would suggest is that you really have to know the chords of the song well, and then you can kind of just BS your way into making a cool sounding solo using just the scales that are behind the chords, as well as some just chromatic notes that don't belong. So I'm going to use the song That Old Feeling as my example, and I purposely didn't want to script this because I'm going to mess up, and like the whole point is that there is a lot of trial and error in learning how to do chord solo stuff. So you're going to have to spend time with the chords. So, alright, so we got C sharp major here. I'll do the chords real quick. C sharp major. Then we got F minor 7 flat 5. B flat 7. E flat minor. E flat minor 7 flat 5. So here, let's just get this in our ears for a second. And of course I'm taking some liberties and adding a sharp 5 to the dominant chords, and that's another just little trick there. You can pretty much always add a sharp 5, especially preceding a minor chord, because it's going to share a note. So you pretty much can't play a sharp 5 that sounds wrong when you're approaching a minor chord. Anyway, back to the chord solo stuff. Our first chord is C sharp major 7. So really, I just like kind of think, oh, well, what are the notes in the C major scale that are nearby? It's the C sharp major scale that are nearby. So and so I'll start with one of the actual notes in the chord itself. So I'll be like, so see how I'm hardly even moving my hand for that melody? Like, you kind of just have to mess around with it. And then we're going to go to the minor 7 flat 5. So here we're going to be playing a Locrian scale off the bass note. So what I would do is honestly just practice these scales, just so your fingers literally get the muscle memory. So you can do stuff like this, like you're basically just like, you know, this isn't really musical necessarily, but you want to have speed. You want to be able to go like, or like, I know I'm kind of cheating because I'm using hammer-ons and pull-offs, but the point is you want these shapes to be so like ingrained into your consciousness that you just don't even have to think about it when you're soloing. So when I get to this chord here, I'm thinking like, so I'm taking liberties from the melody too as well here. So I'm like, I saw you last night. I know that's not what it is, but it's like I'm using the rhythm of the melody. You see how that's part of the dominant chord here too. Then we got our minor chord. See, I'm screwing it up right now, but that's the whole point, the trial and error aspect of it. I'm like, alright, what notes actually work with this chord that are nearby, that I don't have to actually move far to play at all? So I'm like, I don't think this note works. So I'm like, alright, I gotta use this one. I don't love that, but I'm like, that's a little bit better. So I'm like kind of hashing it out slowly as I go on. And then we have another minor 7 flat 5. So I'm just gonna, you know, do my same thing. thing too is that when you're doing like any sort of minor 7 flat 5 cadence to a dominant chord, like you can actually just keep playing the Locrian scale over the dominant chord. So I just treat it like it's one long 5 chord, basically. So you could play B flat harmonic minor over this. Sorry, B flat Phrygian. Anyway, nothing spectacular, nothing crazy here. Basically, I just kind of wanted to do an intro video to get you thinking about, how you can approach chord soloing, especially if you're like me and you're self-taught and you're just like, man, I don't even know where to start. The other thing I would say to get good at, and this is what I'm currently working on right now, is getting good at doing arpeggios and doing them in interesting ways, like, instead of just going like, now that sounds like bebop. And this is a funny little rhythmic trick actually I learned, is that imagine the end of each line ending in bebop. So if you end it like bebop, you can make anything sound jazzier by the way you inflect it. So yeah. Anyway, my brain's pretty much shot from that. So anyway, I hope you like my bullshit lesson. Yeah, thanks. Stick around for the next one.